and welcome to RENEBOXYOUNG, a platform where we simply discuss, critique, and analyze, simply talk about sport of boxing in a level-headed, mature, coherent fashion. Subscribers since day one, recent subscribers, I appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks so much for tuning in to Flash Lives, premieres of my videos such as this, the shorts, commenting in the comment sections of the videos, liking it up, sharing it up. Playback family, salute. What does this platform represent? For those who are new, it just represents the love of the sport of boxing. It's as simple as that. We don't do no drama show here, baby. We just chop it up, man, in an open mind, coherent fashion, man. It's as simple as that. Subscribe if you're not, man. Go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and share it up. We're gonna keep on growing. Thank you guys so much for your support, man. I want to get into this. Watch this, man. I think it was the first video of this channel. It was a while ago, man. We're talking a while ago. You go back to the first video of the channel. It's called Triple G, the King for Long. You know, and I thought recently, past couple months, and I've been thinking about Errol Spence, man. You know, and first and foremost, I gotta say something, clarify something. You already know this channel. I do my best to stay as unbiased as possible. I do favor certain fighters sometimes, but I try to be very level-headed when it comes to this boxing talk, definitely. Errol Spence, man, those who know the channel, you already know, man, I definitely have shown so much respect and given so much high praise to Errol Spence because he deserves it in the welterweight division, the things that he has accomplished. I know a lot of people want to discredit him, and you can discredit any fighter pretty much. And before I cook on this, let me get a drink, man, out of this mug. You know, I gotta clear my throat on that one for this. Okay, so like I was saying, man, a lot of people, you can discredit any fighter. You know, they discredited Floyd Mayweather. I mean, they've discredited Cesar Chavez Sr., the legend. I mean, you know, you can just go on and on with these names. You can discredit any fighter, but you know, despite all that, I definitely have admired Errol Spence and his run at the welterweight division. He's been at the welterweight division for so long, man. I think he's going for 10 freaking years, man. Maybe longer, I don't know, but it's been freaking long, man. So, you know, the fights he's had, just, you know, top champs, unified welterweight champ. What else can I say, ladies and gentlemen, about Errol Spence in the welterweight division? He's the king, man. He's been the king. Come on now. And I know there are a lot of people out there, and I kind of agree. I understand where, you know, he's not the king yet until he gets undisputed. I get it, but to me, he's the king. He's been the king at the welterweight division. Yes, he has, okay? That's my opinion on it. But I want to say this to clarify that, okay, that I'm level-headed in all this stuff, man, and I do want to talk about, because I've been talking about it in a couple, you know, live sessions, given mentions of it, but I had to make a video on this. Errol Spence, the king for long. Do you think that Errol Spence is going to be the king for long in the welterweight division? I'm not so sure, man. I'm suspecting it now. I'm suspecting he probably won't be. Why? Now, these are the reasons why, and I think everybody knows them, but I kind of want to give my perspective on it, okay? And I want you to also, please, in the comment section, you already know it, man, and those in real time, tuning in premiere. One of the reasons is this, and it's not his fault. Well, partially yes and no. The car crash, you already know it, years ago, man. Thankfully, he came out safe, well. That's awesome. Miracle stuff, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't his fault, and it kind of was, because he was drinking, doing stuff he shouldn't have been doing, whatever, driving, and boom, he got the crash, right? And then after that, you already know the story. The retina thing, you know, he had to pull out the Pacquiao fight. These things are things that happen in life sometimes, right? Sometimes we screw it up. Sometimes just things happen. He was, you know, in training camp, if I'm not mistaken, for the Pacquiao fight. The torn retina, whatever they call it, whatever happened there, okay? You already know it. He had to pull out of that for a while. And then as of late, another car crash, if I'm not mistaken. Now, these things, ladies and gentlemen, have kept Errol Spence from being active at all. And that's something, you know, that's tough. It's tough in the sport of boxing when a fighter, whatever the reason may be for, okay? Whatever the reason may be for, is inactive in the sport of boxing. These young, hungry lions, these competitors, prospects, whatever you want to call them, that are up there and fighting their way to the top and that are very active, they might meet his match. In this case, Errol Spence. They will meet a fighter's match, man. You know, it's just bound to happen. You know, the test of time proves it time and time again, historically, in a lot of cases in the sport of boxing. And I suspect this might happen. I'm not saying it is. You know, I'm not God. I don't know all this stuff, but you know, I'm just from the outside looking in, right? Those things, I personally think, man, are really gonna affect Errol Spence. Now, this is another thing to consider. Everyone's talking about the freaking Errol Spence, watch this, man. Errol Spence just posted a post on Instagram, right? And I think I posted it on the community post here on YouTube, on the channel. that he has some news coming up, right? He has some news coming up. And a lot of people speculate, I have speculated, if it's going to be Bud Crawford. This is another thing about it. If his next fight, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be against a Boots Ennis, because Boots Ennis is also talking about an announcement coming up. Well, he's done that a lot lately. It's kind of annoying. You know, I love Boots. Y'all know the channel here, man. I love Boots. But, you know, he keeps saying there's an announcement, news announcement, fight announcement. We're in the gym, got 10 miles in the bag, fight announcement coming soon. I mean, he constantly does that, but he's not giving any dates, or he's not. By the time I push this video, you know, the answers will probably come right after I push this video, because maybe Spence is going to say, okay, here's the guy I'm fighting, or whatever. And Boots will say, here's the guy I'm fighting, and it's probably not going to be against each other. But what I'm trying to say is this, man. If it's Errol Spence, man, if it's Errol Spence versus Boots, this fight announcement that Errol Spence is talking about, news coming soon. And we really don't know what the news is. Maybe it's Frank Martin or something, you know? But from what I understand, according to what he said in that Instagram post where he's just chilling back, you know, taking a selfie or whatever, it looks like he's going to be fighting soon. And that's great news. That's great. I love it. But if it's Boots or if it's Bud Crawford, I have a high probability in Boots beating Spence, man, and Bud Crawford beating Spence. Why? This is another reason. Apart from what I just said about the inactivity, okay? And I know Bud Crawford, he's been inactive too. But here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, okay? This is another point I gotta really point out. And this goes for all these fighters. Like I said, you already know me. And those who tune into live sessions, man, I really don't care what name it is. We just gotta see what's going on here. We gotta see the context. We gotta see how these fighters are living. We gotta understand, man, I don't live with these guys. I'm not a freaking inside source. I'm not freaking Errol Spence's cousin and chilling in the crib with him. You know, but I just see what I see with my eyeballs, and I hear what I hear, and I see their mannerisms, I see interviews, I see their weight, I see how they're walking, I see how they're talking. Here's another thing, man. Is Errol Spence really training? In all these months that he's been out the ring, ladies and gentlemen, the Ugas win was amazing, man. I loved it. You know, the Ugas, he pounded on Ugas. Ugas got beat up, and I know a lot of people say, "Whoa, Ugas, man, he was getting Spence, man." Of course, you know, people are gonna get touched up in a fight. You know what I'm saying? They're even saying Ryan Garcia was touching up Tank Davis. Yeah, he was touching him up. Of course, you're gonna get hit in a fight. You know what I'm saying? But Errol Spence whooped on Ugas, okay? He got that belt. That's what I'm talking about. Strap season. Facts, you know? But ever since then, has Spence really been training? Has Spence really been hungry? I don't know, man. You know? And here's another reason what makes me think this is that the interviews, man, the recent interviews, he really doesn't do interviews at all, but when he gets chased down by these cameras, you know, remember, I pushed this in a live session recently. You know, this topic came up where it was the Frank Martin and Michael, however you pronounce his name, Rivera, lead up to that fight. They came out of a press conference, and these cameras just chasing down Spence as always, right? Welterweight star right there, you know what I'm saying? King. And they were asking him, Bud Crawford, and I know fighters are tired of this stuff, you know? I think fighters get tired of them being asked the same freaking old questions. And I've talked about this before too. Seems like these guys, these reporter guys, and I'm saying not all of them, but a lot of them do, you know, and these writers, man, they talk about the same old freaking thing, and they ask these guys the same old freaking things. You know, what will this mean to you if you win? I mean, they ask the same old thing 20 times. It gets tiring. It's annoying. I get it. You know, they came up to Spence and, hey, Bud Crawford, what about Bud Crawford? What about Bud Crawford? You gonna fight him soon, or what's going on, you know? And he was like, man, I don't know. I didn't see the passion and fire. This is what I'm trying to get at, man. I didn't see the passion or fire in his eyes, you know? And it made me question, is he really determined now? Just in the sport generally. I'm not so sure. I'm kind of questioning it. Now, I hope he proves me wrong, and I've said this about a lot of fighters where I'm skeptical in certain things, where I bring out certain criticisms, you know, in a level-headed way. That's why I say it in the, you know, introduction to the channel, level-headed, coherent fashion. You know, I hope he proves me wrong. I hope that Errol Spence comes back and fights one of these top guys I'm talking about. And I'm not talking about no freaking Keith Thurman. I love Keith Thurman, man, but out of the question, man. If he fights him, that's nice. But I'm talking about the top. I'm talking about Bud Crawford or Boots. I think Boots and Bud Crawford would give Errol Spence work, man. Why? Here's my next point. It's related to what I'm talking about right now, that the training, the mindset of being ready all the time. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. You know what I'm saying? Bud Crawford, man, this guy, he's always ready. You know, and it makes me second guess. I had Spence in the lead up to, you know, all this freaking hype. since years. I had Spence winning Bud Crawford, but now it's like, man, I don't know. I'm kind of leaning more towards Bud because of the work ethic, ladies and gentlemen. And that's my question. Will Errol Spence be the king for long in the welterweight division? I'm not so sure, man. And I know, there's talks about him moving up. But what I'm saying is this. If it's one of these top guys, man, I'm talking about, now, like I said, I got to reiterate this one more time. And I know a lot of people want to kind of uplift Keith Thurman. So, yeah, well, he's a really good opponent for Spence if it's not Bud Crawford. I don't think so, man. I think Boots rocks Keith Thurman. I think he beats him. And I know a lot of people are going to come out and say, well, look how he did against Karen. Well, Keith Thurman don't have that Karen footwork anymore. You know what I'm saying? I just don't see it. Keith Thurman, he's down now. As much as many people may want to whine and pout about it or try to defend Keith Thurman, it's over for Keith Thurman, man. It's been over for a minute for him. Why? Because of the inactivity. Inactivity kills fighters, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? And not training on top of that, that's the question I have. If there's somebody, inside guy out there, put in the comment section, man. Is Errol Spence training? Has he been training? Has he been fight ready? I'm not so sure. On the contrary, you see these guys, Boots and Bud, those guys are always fight ready. And I know, man, I've criticized Bud Crawford. Believe me, if you're a first time listener here, you got to check the channel, okay? I do it 100 with all these guys. Don't just think I'm doing it here with Spence. No, And I love Spence. I hope he proves me wrong. You know what I'm saying? I hope he proves the naysayers wrong, because that's what I love about fighters. I love it when they're being naysayed all day and they come and show the contrary. I've been proven wrong many times. You know what I'm saying? But I'm suspecting this, man. If Errol Spence stays at welterweight, and if he fights Bud next or Boots, I'm not so sure he reigns much longer, ladies and gentlemen. I can be wrong, though. I got to make that clear. I can be wrong. You know what I'm saying? So I had to get this off my chest, because getting back to what I said at the beginning of this video, I pushed a video called Triple G the King for Long, okay? My first video of the freaking channel. And that's where I was saying, I don't know if he's gonna be reigning much longer. I see him over the hill. He's going over the hill now. I'm kinda suspecting and getting that nudge. Looks like it may be with Errol Spence, man. It looks like it may be. I asked a question. Brian Custer, salute to my guy. Shouts out to my guy, Brian Custer. Brian Custer constantly on Twitter and social media, he says, hey, I'm going to interview so-and-so. You got any questions? Shoot him over here. Shouts out to Brian Custer, man. He's asked several of my questions to fighters. Danny Garcia to Spence. You know what I'm saying? A couple others, I just can't remember. But one of my questions to Errol Spence when he interviewed him, if you guys want to know that video, you want to check that video out with my question on there too. You can ask me and I can put it for you in the comment section. I can leave it for you there. But it was about that. And that's why, this is one of the reasons why I asked it, because back when he was interviewed in those days, and this is what we're talking about maybe like a year ago or something, I don't remember when it was, but I was kind of suspecting it, man, And I asked Errol Spence, when do you think you're going to hang up the gloves? Something along those lines about retirement. And Errol Spence answered and he said, well, when these young guys start beating me up. That's when I'll hang up. Well, that's when I'll hang up the gloves. That's kind of that was his answer. I'm paraphrasing, obviously. So, is that time coming, ladies and gentlemen, where these younger guys are going to come and take Spence out? I don't know. If he sticks around at 147, I'm not so sure, man. Hey, maybe he'll prove me wrong. Maybe this freaking Bud and Spence thing is going to come to light and they're going to fight. Hopefully so. And I'm just going to have to see how they move, how they train, how they're looking. But I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. Do you think Errol Spence Jr. will be the king for long in the welterweight division? I'm not so sure, man. I'm not so sure. I got to hear you on this. Okay, so that's the other thing. If he moves up to 154 and stuff like that, well, maybe he can do some stuff there. But if Mel sticks around at 154 and Spence moves up there, I don't know, man, because Mel, we're talking about training. We're talking about always being ready. Mel's one of those guys. It looks like he's always ready, man. So I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. Please comment in the comment section on this one. Huh? Errol Spence, the king for long? You decide. RENEBOXYOUNG platform, we simply discuss, critique, analyze, simply talk about sport of boxing. That's what I'm talking about. In a level-headed, mature, coherent fashion. Everybody who tuned in, I appreciate y'all, man. Like it up, share it up. You already know it's all for love of the sport of boxing. Thank you guys so much. RENEBOXYOUNG, peace!